We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and my guest today is Danny Pino. Danny, thanks for stopping by. We're going to talk about a hotel cocaine on MGM Plus. How are you doing today, sir?
Well, thank you, Neil. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk about your character. Tell us the premise of the series and then your character.
The premise of the series is that every pleasure has a price. And Hotel Cocaine is about 1978 Miami. We are set in the Mutiny Club and Hotel, which is an actual place. Still exists and no longer is a club, and it is barely a hotel. It is now more residential, but it was the place to be, sort of the Studio 54 of South Florida. And my character, Herman Comte, is the general manager. He actually existed, but Chris Brancato, who is our showrunner, also the co-creator of Narcos and the creator of Godfather of Harlem, he writes steeped in sort of criminality and that world of life and death, desperation, and he brings that to South Florida with a disco soundtrack. It's much like the Casablanca of 1978, but instead of Rick's Cafe, we are in the Mutiny Club, and instead of World War II, we are in the Cold War and in the war on drugs.
And it's an interesting perspective to go back in history to see all that stuff, right? And learn about it.
Absolutely,
Like comparing
absolutely.
yourself.
I mean,
Yeah.
the soundtrack alone, with the '70s music, the disco tracks, the classic rock and roll tracks, and then of course, you know, the Cuban influence, the Caribbean influence, you know, with salsa, Celia Cruz, Tito Puente. You know, we have a lot of that flavor as well. That is obviously very Miami.
And then and when those projects come out, you just see that certain things and say, wow, things have changed. But again, some of that is awesome. Miami, right? Exactly. You go today in Miami and there's certain, I'm not talking about the drugs, but maybe true, but like the kind of nightlife and enjoyment that Miami brings.
Well, I mean, that period in Miami history was transformative. The influx of capital, of money coming into Miami, whether it was illicit or legal, there was such an influx of money coming into the city. It really it made Miami into the city it is today, and certainly the influences financially and otherwise have changed, thankfully. Because it reached an untenable, I think, level in terms of the violence and the blood flowing in the streets of Miami, so that party could continue. And that's what you see in Hotel Cocaine. It is a cautionary tale, I think, told through the eyes of a Cuban American exile who fought in the Bay of Pigs, who was very steeped in this kind of socio-political atmosphere of 1978.
Absolutely. And people could check it out on MGM Plus, and it's available. It was available yesterday. So you could check it out now. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. Actually, there are 5 episodes that are available on MGM Plus now. So if you haven't watched it yet, you actually have the advantage of binging virtually half the season.
Yeah, because the days of binging are dying, right? Everyone's releasing them every week. It drives me nuts. Crazy, man.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, we're releasing one a week every Sunday. But since we've already released the first 5, you get the added benefit of being able to binge almost half the episode. It's actually past the halfway point of our season. We shot 8 episodes.
All right. Well, thanks, Danny, for stopping by, man. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, Neil. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.